I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Kevin Holler left me a message on my Facebook page, Old Sneelock's Workshop. He told me that he was having trouble finding an auxiliary handle for his one-man crosscut saw that wasn't going to cost more than the saw itself. Well, I've run into that myself. You go on eBay and people think that they can piece out a saw and make more money off the parts, so they jack up the price on all the little bits and pieces, and you end up taking a perfectly good saw and breaking it into chunks and selling it off. I don't think that's a good idea. Sell the whole thing at once. If you don't want the saw, sell the whole thing at once. If you make $1 or $2 on it, more because you broke it up, you really haven't done the world any favors. This is a Curtis saw division of the Gemco Tool Corp. I picked this up at an antique shop in Schoolcraft. It was upstairs, hidden behind a bunch of stuff. Doesn't look like anybody used it very much. The handle's just a little bit loose, but I think that's more because it hung on the wall for so many years. But it came with this auxiliary handle, which is a nice thing to do because now I can show you how it works. There's a pin that goes to the top of the saw blade. I can unscrew this bolt and we'll get the handle apart. I get the screw out. Gonna watch that washer, it wants to fall out. Then pull the ferrule off, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 main pieces of the auxiliary handle. Now this handle's barrel shaped. Not all of them are. This is also a little bit longer than this one. This is a Diston handle, but it's the same idea. It has a bolt, washer, ferrule, and handle. Same idea. The Diston is a little bit more expensive piece. What they've done is they've forged this one with a larger loop on the end of it, so it's got more meat in the hook. This one just has a bolt that's cut with a slot. It's like a 3/8 bolt turned down to 5/16 and threaded down here. If it was me, I'd go with a straight 3/8. This bolt is about 3 inches long, and the main body of the bolt is 3/8 of an inch in diameter. Has a 5/16 18 thread on it. The handle the largest part of the barrel is 1 inch and 3/8. On the Diston, it's just about the same. 1 and 3/8 on the largest part of the barrel. Make it bigger or smaller, depends on how you want to do it. Think you could take an old piece of shovel handle and cut it off, or I don't know, pretty much anything. The wood isn't important. You can see how there's a hole drilled in the end of this. That's to let the bolt slip down through. The hole's about 3 inches deep. So the bolt's 3 inches long, the hole's 3 inches deep. Then there's a hole drilled in the side here. Now they're using a 5/16 square nut. They've milled a slot in the side of the handle, just big enough for that nut to slip in there. This is a 5/16 square nut. That's what they use to hold the bolt into the handle. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's a 1/2 inch across. That's standard. 5/16, use a 1/2 inch wrench. This is the ferrule. It's just a piece of steel tubing. It's 1 7/16 inches long, and this one happens to be just about 1 1/8 inches in diameter. Main thing you're looking for is you want to have it so that it blends into the wood. If you have a piece of tubing with an ID of, let's see, this is 1 inch, so a piece of electromechanical tubing, thin wall tubing of any kind. All you're doing is making a ferrule that goes around that. There's a hole cut in the side of the handle that just fits this 5/16 18 square nut. Let that slide right in there. Then I slip the ferrule over the handle. Put the washer over the end. The washer's got a notch in it, so it goes over the edge of the blade and catches it and holds on. And slide the bolt down through. That holds the whole apparatus together. Now this has just got a slot cut through it, but it's got a special kind of pin. The hole in this bolt is drilled larger on this side so that that bolt can slip right on through. And the end of the bolt is peened over just a little bit so that it's captured inside this draw bolt. That keeps it from falling out. That's nice if you're out in the woods and you want to move the auxiliary handle from the front to the back of the blade. You can pull that pin and it's captured inside the draw bolt, and it won't fall out in the woods, and you'll end up chasing that around and not be able to run your saw. And that just tightens up on there and holds that handle on nice and snug. Now you can take a 3/8 bolt and a 3/8 nut, and instead of having the 5/16 nut in there, you can put a 3/8 nut in it, or you can go with a 5/16, but that's going to mean that this shank is a little bit thin. You're going to lose a little bit of strength in that shank when you cut through it. So I would just go with a 3/8 square nut, 3/8 straight shank bolt, slot it, drill a cross hole in through it. The pin goes through this cross hole through the blade and out the other side. That's how that handle holds together. So that's how it works. Clips on there. So when you're out in the woods, you want to put that auxiliary handle on, you just slip it on like that. You decide you got a buddy coming over to help you saw, so you're going to turn this into a 2-man saw. Just flip it end for end, slide the handle over, push the pin through, tighten it up, and now you've got a short 2-man saw. So that's how the auxiliary handle works. It's not too difficult. You can make one yourself. Save having to try and find one somewhere on eBay where somebody wants an arm and a leg for it. Well, I hope that answered your question, Kevin. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.